on. So you guys can hear me now, right?
And we're live now, Laura.
Yeah. Good morning, everybody. My name is Lori. I'm with the School of Graduate Studies. It's just a minute after 9 o'clock right now. So we're just going to wait until just after a few more minutes to let people sign into the call, into this webinar, and we'll get started about 9:05. So thank you for your patience and just hold on. So good morning, everybody. Everybody can hear me okay out there? Just want to welcome everybody to today's webinar on learning all about the School of Graduate Studies. Thank you so much for joining us. Just a couple of really quick housekeeping notes before we get started with our first presenter. Just a reminder that all of our sessions are being recorded and they will be available on the orientation website within a day or two of the recording. If you have any questions, each presenter only has 10-15 minutes. So it's pretty quick, but we're hoping to have a minute or so for questions at the end. So that will just be directed into the chat feature. So one of my colleagues will be keeping an eye on that, and we hope to be able to answer questions there. And if not, feel free to reach out. All of our team is always here to support you from beginning to end of your time as a graduate student. So please feel free to reach out to us, check out the orientation website, check out the contact page on our website, and we will help you out. So without further ado, I'm going to just throw it over to our first presenter, Dr. Michael Kahn, our brand new Provost and Vice President of Academic. Welcome.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Now, I've realized that I keep bouncing in and out of the session, so if I bounce out as we're talking, just bear with me. And I'd first like to begin by first respectfully acknowledging that we are on the treaty and traditional territory of the Mississauga Anishinaabe. We offer our gratitude to the First Nations people for their care and teaching us about our earth and our relations. May we honor those teachings. So for those students returning to Trent, welcome back. And obviously a very special welcome to who are joining Trent for the very first time. You've obviously made an excellent choice. I know that because I've been here now
Sorry, everybody. It sounds like maybe a little bit of technical difficulties or internet connection problems for Dr. Khan. So we'll just give him 1 minute to try to reconnect here.
Yeah, so if Michael isn't able to jump back on here, maybe we'll just jump ahead and keep our fingers crossed that Craig's connection is going to work a little bit better. Everyone's sort of been able to hear myself, I think, and Lisa. So maybe we'll just jump ahead to you, Craig. Dr. Craig Brunetti, he's our Dean of the School of Graduate Studies, and he's going to say a few words. So let's keep our fingers crossed for your audio, Craig.
Thank you. Hopefully you can hear me. My name is Craig Brunetti. I'm the Dean of Graduate Studies and a professor in the Department of Biology at Trent University. So yeah, you're experiencing the joy of COVID-19 and remote learning, and I'm sure this isn't the last time that we'll experience technical glitches, but it is what it is with COVID-19 and having to not necessarily have the connections we'd like to have. So I'd like to begin by welcoming all of our new graduate students to Trent University. Whether you're going to be joining us in person or remotely this year, we're confident that you will experience what has made Trent great. You are studying in what will be, as you've already seen, probably one of the strangest academic years any of us has experienced. And I guess the best that we can all hope for is that the year will be uneventful. We also appreciate all of you have experienced and probably overcome a lot of challenges over the past year just to be able to join us. And we're grateful that you have trusted us this academic year. So before I go on much further, I'd like to introduce to you the Office of Graduate Studies team. You've probably interacted with some of these folks either on the phone or via email during the admissions process, but we'll just go through the whole office because these folks will be indispensable for you as you manage your life in graduate studies at Trent University. So I'll just introduce them one by one and they can say a few words about their job title and what they do. So Lisa.
Morning, everybody. I'm Lisa Junkin, the Manager of Graduate Studies. Thanks for joining us today and looking forward to interacting and working with all of you throughout the term.
Next we have Lori, our MC for the day.
Hi, everyone. I am Lori Collette. I'm Applications and Admissions support person to the officers, but mainly work in applications and admissions.
Next we have Erin.
Hi, everyone. I'm Erin Davidson. I'm the Records and Registration Officer for the School of Graduate Studies.
Next we have Jesse.
Hi everyone, I'm Jessie Riwanto. I'm one of the administrative and recruitment assistant. I'm looking forward to meet you all.
And next we have Sharon. I'm not sure if she is on. I think she was having technical. So we have Sharon Maloney. She's our graduate admissions officer. And finally we have Jane.
Hi, I'm Jane, graduate finance officer. I look after scholarships and bursaries. Welcome.
So these 6 individuals are going to be your best friends as you navigate your graduate studies degree with us. So a little bit of background or information about graduate studies at Trent University. We currently have around 600 active graduate students. We have around 200 or so students who will be joining us this year. We have a mix of professional and thesis-based graduate degrees. And we offer 22 degrees with 34 streams and 4 graduate diplomas. This may be an odd thing to talk about right now, but we actually have 3 physical locations where graduate studies happens at Trent University. So we have the Trent Simons campus, which is the main campus of Trent University, and that's where the Office of Graduate Studies is located. We also have our downtown Peterborough campus, Catherine Parr Trail College, and that's where many of our humanities-based graduate programs are located. And then about an hour south of Peterborough, we have our Trent University Durham GTA campus. And at that location, we have our Master's of Management degree. So even though we are chatting remotely today, your graduate program is associated with one of these 3 campuses. And I'll just give you a little more general information in that we are expecting a mix of domestic and international students to be studying with us this year. And I will take a pause and just say a few words about international students. And we know in particular that our international students are experiencing challenges because of COVID-19, particularly if you're trying to join us in Canada. And we have been working very closely with our international office to provide as much information as we can, but know that there are still many unknowns. We have a constantly changing set of rules, and many of the issues, things like study permits and even trying to cross the border, are things that we don't have any control over. But we continue to work with our international office and provide all of you with the most up-to-date information that we have, and we'll work with you over this coming year because we know it's going to be challenging for everyone. I would also just mention, if you do have any questions, just make sure that you type them into the chat and I or someone else can answer them if we can. A little bit more information about just about generally how grad studies works. And again, I'm not going to go into specifics because each of you is in your own unique program, and those programs have distinct rules and the way that things operate. So I'll just speak at a very general level and just say that, or at least to remind you, that each of our graduate programs has a graduate director and an administrative assistant. And probably through the admissions process, you've interacted with either one or both of those individuals, but those folks will be instrumental in answering and helping you as you move through your program. Just another distinction about grad is that in grad, you're registered. If you're a full-time student, we register you 12 months a year continuously. And so we have 3 full active terms. We have a grad fall, a grad winter, and a grad spring and summer. Again, this is in contrast to undergrad, which generally functions on 2 academic terms, fall and winter. So I'd just like to take a second to talk about COVID-19, because obviously the whole reason we're doing orientation remotely like this and all the disruption that's happened has been a result of COVID-19. And so just a couple of points as it relates to Trent University. And although you may be studying remotely this year, it's important to know that the university campus is open. And the most important sign for all of us that the campus is starting to reopen is that Starbucks on campus will reopen this Monday. And so that sort of officially signals the beginning of a return to some normalcy to our campus. We also have a number of common spaces that you'll find are open, including our library and the Student Center. Now, it isn't quite business as usual at the library, and I know we have someone from the library speaking later in this orientation session. So they'll talk a little bit about what the library looks like now and how to get resources from the library. Our cafeterias on campus will also be opening, and we will be welcoming back around 1,000 undergraduate students into our residences, and they'll be moving in over the next week and a half. So if you do come to campus, there will be a lot of activity starting in early September. We do hope that the COVID-19 rates will remain under control and we can continue the phased reopening of our campus over the fall term. So although not everything may be open or not all services may be fully operational, we're hoping that as things continue to improve, that we'll be able to make more services available. Just for all of our students, there is a COVID-19 education module available for students, and any student that is returning to campus must take the module. So even if you don't have classes, but you'd like to come to the library or go to the Starbucks on Monday, you have to take that education module before you come to campus. The module is available through Blackboard, which is our learning management system, and you may or may not be familiar with that, but you will be over the coming weeks as you transition into status as a student. The education module takes about 20 minutes to complete, and I highly recommend you take that even if you aren't planning to return to campus immediately. There's a lot of really great information in that module that you may just find helpful. So the module includes information about the virus. It also includes rules and policies that have been established to keep you safe while on campus, as well as information about how the campus will operate this fall. So that information is all available and it's worth reviewing. So for me, I'd like to just close and thank all of you for choosing Trent University, and I'm wishing you all the best in your studies with us this coming year. So I'm happy to take any questions. I'm just looking.
Craig, the first question was just about accepting a GTA from afar. So.
Yeah. So we are, and these are the, so you are able, if you have a valid social insurance number, a SIN number, which allows you to work in Canada, if you have a valid SIN number, you can work as a GTA wherever you are, whatever country, whatever geographic region you're in, okay? If you don't have a SIN number, we can't legally employ you in Canada, and so you can't hold your GTA. Okay, the only way to get a SIN number right now is to physically arrive in Canada. So I think students can get them at the airport, for example, when you arrive. Now, having said that, we're hopeful that our students will be able to arrive in person and get that SIN number. And if you do, we will prorate your GTA. So if you were to come in, say, for October 1st, we would prorate your GTA and give you the hours that you would be working in October, November, and December. So we'll do that. But again, anybody that has a valid SIN number, no matter where you are, you can hold your GTA this year. Any other questions? I'm just looking at the time as well.
Yeah, if there's no more questions, immediate questions, I think we're going to try to go back to Michael. He's back on and he's still having a little bit of an issue possibly. So is that okay, Craig, if we shoot it back over to Michael while he's sort of there? See how that goes? Okay, thank you very much, Craig. We're going to try to go back over to Michael now.
Hi, everybody. I'm still, can you hear me, Laurie?
Yeah, I could hear you.
Okay,
Oh.
it's still very, very unstable here. So if I get bumped out again, you might as well just go ahead without me.
Okay.
So as I was saying to our students, you've made an excellent choice, and I've really enjoyed my short time here so far. As you settle into your studies, and of course, we are in exceptional times, you will soon realize that grad studies is the most enjoyable of your university experiences. This is because you've chosen a field of study that you are passionate about. Whether through your courses or your research, you will be on the cutting edge of knowledge in your respective fields. This can be extremely exciting. You will be working with professors who are experts in their fields. Learn as much as you can from them. They will also be looking forward to learning from yourself as we learn and grow as global citizens. I urge you to make the very best of your time here at Trent during your grad studies, and wish you all the best in the upcoming year. Enjoy.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Michael. And now we're going to talk to the president of the Trent Graduate Student Association, Sandra Clement Negessen. There you are. Welcome.
Hello. Thank you, Laurie. Hello, everyone. My name is Sandra Clement Negessen, and we may have met before. If we haven't, then it's great to meet you, even if I cannot see you. And welcome to Trent. I hope that you're all pretty excited about starting this grad journey, even if the conditions are very, very different from what you may have expected. But here at the Trent Graduate Student Association, we're going to try our best to make sure that you still feel part of the graduate community, which is really important and very unique here at Trent because of the size and because of the people who are there. So just to give you a bit of background, of course, I'm myself a grad student. I'm a PhD student in the Environmental and Life Sciences program. And I specifically study the fish and insect larvae urine in the water. So very fun work. And I'm also French. So if you're a Francophone, please feel free to come to talk to me. I always love speaking French with other people. And I'm also international. So if you're international, I definitely have gone through the same struggles you're going through. Although with international students being abroad and not being able to come in Canada, that's another layer of complexity. And so I really, I feel very compassionate for your current situation right now. So I came to Peterborough coming from Montreal, which is a bigger city. And it was my first time coming to a smaller city. I mean, I call it a town, but I know that it's all relative to where you're coming from. And I didn't know what to expect. But I ended up finding such a warm and welcoming community, both in Peterborough and at the Trent University, that it just grew on me. And I ended up really being super happy staying here and ended up transferring from my master's to my PhD program. So I think that you'll be pretty happy coming here and will be in good hands throughout your graduate journey here. What do we do at the TGSA? First, we advocate for you. So we're here to represent you at various committees and often have conversations very regularly with the School of Graduate Studies, particularly with the dean and with other Trent administration offices. So if there's any concern, anything you want us to bring up on your behalf, please feel free to come talk to us. I'll show you soon. We have a new website and there's a form that you can fill out and just give feedback on however we communicate things and whatever you want us to do. And of course, you can also email us. Second, we are here to support you. We offer two types of bursaries. The first, the academic bursary, which both of them encompass all students. So the academic bursary can include things like going to a conference, a workshop, even if you're a professional student and you do any of these, please feel free to submit a claim. and you're eligible up to, I think, $250 a year. And then we have our emergency bursaries, which include dental health coverage that's not covered by your plan, or that's extra, higher than the max for your plan. We have basic income, and we have groceries support as well. So please feel free to apply to these bursaries that you can find on our website. The second thing is that we support you through events. So we try to, again, foster this community feel within our cohort, which is a little challenging for grad students because, as you will probably experience it if you haven't already in the past degree, grad students tend to be really focused on what they're doing, and they have just a different lifestyle than what undergrads have. So it's not always easy to bring people together, but I hope that all of you will agree with the importance of finding friends amongst each other. So please come. And lastly, we're here to educate as well. So we're here to organize academic and career-oriented events, which we're going to do more this year than the previous years because we think it's important, especially with the kind of degree you're doing. And also just having workshops or types of events that just make you reflect and think as you grow as a citizen and as a researcher. Two important values that we have here at the TGSA are first, inclusion. So no matter where you're coming from, what your background is, it's really important for us that you feel that you belong here at Trent and in our graduate community. So if at any point you do not feel that way, please come talk to us, and we'll try to address this issue. The second thing is mental health. So, just going through school is not easy, and you are a complex being who's not just a student, but also has a life. So it is important to take care of you, and it's important to take care of your mental health, and hopefully to not feel guilty when there are moments where you're having troubles. And again, we're here if you need to talk to a friend and also address certain issues at a bigger level. A couple of lines of actions we have this year. I'm really happy about the fantastic team we have. So we have a lot of things in mind. The first thing that we wanted to address this year, which obviously is very timely, is systemic racism. So we know that racism is here and it's real anywhere, including in our institution. And it is important for us to address this issue and make sure, again, that everyone feels like they belong, and that everyone is represented basically at the various levels of our institution. So we have events and other initiatives that we are planning to address this over the year. The second thing is we're trying to build our relationship with the alumni office. We do not have as much of a good tracking record with our grad alumni as the undergrad alumni may have. So it's really important for us to be able to connect with these former students and be able to learn from them through career-oriented events and see where they've landed and what you can do with your degree. So this is something we're also going to build up this year and propose to you through a series of events, both in the fall and in the winter. And then lastly, I mentioned it as one of our values, but mental health is also something we have on our radar this year. And it's at an even bigger scale because we're meeting with a student caucus that's represented by different student leaders on campus. And we're trying to make sure that in particular in this COVID-19 era and situation, then we promote compassion amongst ourselves, students, and also compassion between professors and students. So that's another thing we're going to address through specific initiatives, but also to trying to improve the relationship between students and supervisors if you're doing a thesis. I'm just going to quickly share my screen with you so that in 3 seconds, gonna start. Okay. so that you can see our contact information. Please stay connected with us. There's various ways you can do so. One is to just email the general email address, gsa@trentu.ca for general inquiries, or you can also email them if you need to speak to a specific board member and ask or student support coordinator who's managing this email address to be redirected to a specific board member. The second is to follow us on our social media and website. It is especially important as we're doing everything remotely. Please, please, please like us on Facebook, on Instagram and Twitter. You have the names right here. And also check out our website. We have a completely new remodeled website. It has a lot of information and hopefully that you'll find helpful. So it's really important for us that you stay in touch with us because we share a lot of information through that, not only about our events, but just like cool stuff. You know, for example, I was mentioning mental health. Well, there's a mental health toolkit that's been put in place by the Canadian Federation of Students, specifically for grad students. So that's something that you can find on our social media. So please, please, please follow us. And then lastly, we're putting up a new monthly newsletter. So one thing that we want to do through that is to feature grad student work every month. So if you have, you know, some idea of what your research is, or if you're working on a project, if you're in a professional program, or if you have a new paper that got submitted, you can just submit a little something that can be in any format, like a poem or story, whatever. And it'd be really our greatest pleasure to feature you on our monthly newsletter. And it's just an opportunity basically for you to keep working on your communication skills and, you know, share what you're doing. So this is something you can find on our website, which you can see here. So under news and updates, you'll be able to find everything about the newsletter and submitting your work. And under funding, this is where you're going to find all the information about our bursaries. So feel free also to go to our website. It's a lot more accessible than it used to be in previous years. So we hope you'll find it helpful. So I think I've stopped sharing my screen now. And I'm back. So thank you very much for listening to me. And I hope you'll have a wonderful time here at Trent, despite the conditions.
Thank you so much for your presentation, Sandra. That was great. We're going to move on now. Michael Eamon, Dr. Michael Eamon is the principal at Trail College. Hopefully you've got your audio videos all good now, and over to you, Michael.
Can you see me now? Is this good?
Yes, we can see you in the library.
Oh, wonderful. Well, of course, my computer crapped out, but don't worry, yours won't. You know, not all Trent technology craps out at the last minute. But I do have a phone. And well, hi everyone. I'm in my office here actually at Trail College. I'm a historian. You can see there's lots of historical type of things here, so it's all legit that I am a historian. I want to welcome you to here and say how supported you are at Trent University. As you've already seen, you have a great professional grad studies department that are here to serve you. You have a great student association with Sandra and the TGSA to serve you. And you also have a third layer of support called Catherine Parr Trail College. Trail College is actually the graduate college at Trent University. So if you're new to Trent University, you're automatically a member of Catherine Parr Trail College. And if you have been to Trent University before, you maintain your original college affiliation, but you're still welcome at Trail. So a lot of people may be scratching their heads and saying, what's this deal with college? I'm at university. I don't need to be part of a college. I'm an island. I don't need anyone else in my business. But the thing is that this is all about your business, because colleges are about support. They're all about interdisciplinary communities where you can get away from the stress of your lab or of your research of the archives and find people of like minds in different disciplines in different sections. And the challenge these days is because of COVID, many of you are at home, probably wearing your bathrobes or in your PJs or things like that. That's awesome. Well, if you do want to come out to the college, we are a physical space and it is your space, and we have tons of great things for you, like this library and this graduate-only reading room here, where graduate students can come, study, print things off, meet other graduate students, have fun. But there's more than just meeting with a college. We also have virtual spaces where you can meet as well, but it's also about the services that we offer. Here's our part of our library again. And some of the services we offer is academic skills for writings, academic advising, mental health counseling. So all these types of services are also provided in the physical space of the college. And I hope you agree, it's kind of a nice place. It's sort of like somebody's house because it was somebody's house at some time. And so there are tons of awesome spaces for people to hang out, play piano, read books, and just be themselves. And that's what part of the collegiate way is all about. So we offer services, we offer programs. We have certain things like trivia nights, open mic nights. We have all sorts of things called, one very important activity we put on is called the Simons Seminar Series. And this is named after our founding president, Tom Simons. And we'll do this twice a month. We'll bring somebody in the sciences and somebody in the humanities together, and they talk about the research, and we start cross-discipline conversations, because all we're trying to do here is make people get more of their education. You might have heard of a guy named Mark Twain. He wrote a book or two. That's not even his real name, Samuel Clement. So you got to be, suspicious about anything this dude says. But he did say something that was important, that said, I've never let my schooling interfere with my education. And you know what? That's what colleges are in a nutshell. We help provide a larger education outside of the classroom. We help to provide those supports outside of the classroom, and we help to provide activities outside of the classroom. And it's never a bad thing to come see the principal. Don't feel bad coming to the principal's office at the college here. We're here to help you provide career advice, to help guidance for further grad studies, or just be a helpful ear. Okay, you've heard a lot of voices today. You'll hear some more. So I'm just going to conclude, but I'm going to conclude talking about my scarf. My scarf here is something that every member of Trail College gets. So come down and visit me. If you're in person on campus, come to Trail College on London Street in Peterborough, and you too will get your very own scarf. And this is one of an old collegiate tradition going back to the collegiate universities of Oxford and Cambridge in the UK. And the scarf is something special because you can either wear it loud and proud and tell everybody where you're from and what college you're a part of, or you can keep it hidden under your coat and close to your heart, kind of like your allegiance and your importance, your beliefs in education. And I believe in education thoroughly, and so does Trent. So if you look at this crest here, there's a crest right here, I don't know if you can read it. It says something in Latin, nunc cognosco ex parte. And that means now I know in part. And you're like, wow, worst motto ever. But if you look at it another way, I think it's the best motto ever, because knowing in part is all about the educational experience. You start this educational experience at Trent knowing that there's much more to know, and then you want to know more. And when you know more, you become a better person through education. And when you become a better person through education, that's when you can make the lives of others better. And that's why we're all here in this rarefied air. We want to make other people's lives better by improving our own. And so you can get one of these scarves and join the club, join what Trail College, join the philosophy, knowing in part, because you don't want to be a know-it-all. Nobody wants to be a know-it-all. Know-it-alls are idiots. They're jerks. You might want to know a know-it-all if you need a lawyer or, going in a land deal in Florida or something like that. But other than that, you don't want to know know-it-alls. You don't want to be know-it-alls. What you want to be is a proud know-it-some. And that's what going to Trent University is all about, is knowing that there's more to learn about. And here at Trail College, we'll help you out with any problems that you might have on that journey. Well, that's it for me. I hope that's okay, everyone. Good to see you all, and maybe I'll see you in person at Trail College.
Thank you so much, Michael. I'm glad you got that to work. Thank you for the tour of library and elsewhere.
Yes, there's a lot more out there. Come on down, virtually or in person.
Great, take care. Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye. Our next presenter is Mitch from the Center for Teaching and Learning. I'm not sure if he is here yet. Oh, I think he might be. Mitch, if you're there, I'm just gonna throw it right over to you, representing the Center for Teaching and Learning. Welcome.
Oh, perfect. Thanks, Lori. That's
timing.
Really good. That's excellent timing. Well, thank you, everyone. I am here to represent the Center for Teaching and Learning and speak a little bit about what we do. My name is Mitch Hugan, and I'm the Indigenous Pedagogy Designer at the Center. So I have a very specific role, but I'm going to start by speaking a little bit more broadly about what it is we do at the Center for Teaching and Learning. And then I'll talk a little bit more specifically about some of the features of the Center. I'm going to try to share my screen with folks. See if I can open up the right window. There we are. So hopefully everyone's able to see that. I've just navigated us to the Center's website. We've made some fresh new updates to our website, and I certainly encourage everyone to give them a look. For those of you that are not at all familiar with the CTL, basically what we do is try to support as best we can faculty, TAs, lab demonstrators in either becoming or continuing to be excellent educators. We provide a number of different services to folks who are interested in improving or advancing their professional practice and teaching. We recommend good pedagogical approaches and certainly try our very best to offer workshops and one-to-one consultations with folks who are interested in doing this kind of work. You take a look here, you'll find something that's, I think, quite topical these days, and that's this transition we're all making to remote learning. And what we have that's fairly new on our website is access to these workshops that we've been facilitating. And of course, we've always been happy to offer workshops while we're working together in person on campus, but now we're offering workshops remotely, and many of these workshops help folks understand and learn about how to teach in an online era, this online era that we're all currently experiencing. If I can open this, there we go. Under the workshops tab, you can see we've got a number of different options here. We've been very successful in offering a series called Going the Distance, and it's a really good example of how we've been designing our workshops recently to help people understand this move to remote teaching. Some of our workshops now are being offered synchronously, so you can join us live through Zoom, just as you all are doing right now. And then some of our other workshops we're offering asynchronously, and that basically means you can join the workshop at any time that works best for you, and you can sort of move through the workshop at your own pace. You can see them all listed here, and many of them, many of the workshops that we offer and will continue to be offering focus on, especially now, on that move to remote teaching. For those of you that have varying different interests, speaking from my role specifically, if you have an interest in Indigenous pedagogy, for example, you can find certainly workshops focused more specifically on those various different topics. If you're not specifically interested in the workshops that we offer and are more interested in some of the resources that we might have, we do have a new resources page as well that you're welcome to access, and it's continuing. Oh, that's not good. I'll just speak to it from memory. We're continuing to update our resources page. Let's see if I can open it in a new tab. There we are. We're continuing to update our resources page, and you can take a look at it on your own time in more detail here. But you can see at a quick glance we're populating this resources page every day with new resources that are designed to help folks, especially now, make that transition to teaching remotely. And much like the workshops, there are different various different focuses here that will certainly help individuals hoping to become better teachers. What might be of most interest to you is something that we've been doing for quite a while. We've been helping graduate students specifically to become better teachers, to advance their knowledge of the teaching world, the education world, by offering something known as the Graduate Teaching Certificate. I strongly recommend folks who are interested in advancing their knowledge of teaching and learning to check this out. This is a really excellent program for folks who are interested in doing those things, and basically gives you a number of different options for workshops to attend, and these are both asynchronous and synchronous workshops on various different topics related to teaching and learning. And after attending a number of different workshops and completing a capstone project, which is described here, as you can see on our website, you receive from the center a certificate that we're calling the Graduate Teaching Certificate. I believe now we're making placing a stronger emphasis on teaching remotely, as that's something that I think we'll be at least doing for some time. But I definitely recommend folks giving the Graduate Teaching Certificate a look. And as you can see, there's a great deal of information about that here on our website. If you'd like to get in touch with us, you can find our contact information as well on our website. You can certainly meet the team and get to know what each of us does, what our roles are, and how we can help you. And if you just have general questions, you can visit teaching@trentu.ca. I strongly recommend folks getting in touch with us if they've even got the slightest of questions about teaching and education in the post-secondary environment, and certainly look forward to hearing from many of you come September.
Mitch, just sort of interrupt. There is just a question on the chat line that maybe you can help us answer.
Sure.
It's just saying the GTA workshops seem to be September 14th and 15th. And if you do have some scheduling or other commitments during those times, just some interest in knowing, is there another way they could maintain some of that or access some of that training?
Yeah, that is a good question, Laurie. Thank you. And I believe there is. It's oftentimes Robin Hanley Defoe that looks after the Graduate Teaching Certificate specifically. I believe there is now an asynchronous option, so that folks aren't necessarily pigeonholed into that one date range. So that's actually something I might need to look into myself to find out for certain. But I believe there is an asynchronous option now.
Okay, was there any other questions for Mitch? I see there's some things in the chat, maybe Jesse and Aaron are kind of answering them as they're asked, but feel free if you've got any other questions for Mitch to throw those into the chat and either he will answer them, or if they're pretty simple. Maybe one of my colleagues will be able to.
We've been saying fairly frequently, Lori, if there's a question we can't answer now, we'll certainly try our best to answer it later. And yeah, and for folks that do have questions now or later on, again, please most definitely reach out to us. Again, teaching@trentu.ca.
Okay, well, thank you so much, Mitch, for taking that on kind of last minute. We appreciate that, and it's
No
great.
problem.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks everyone.
Okay, take care. So our next presenter is Nona, Dr. Nona Robinson. Are you here yet? I don't think you're quite on the call yet. I think she's coming. Excellent. Another good timing. Hi, Nona. Sorry, we're just a couple of minutes ahead of schedule. So this works out perfect for you because I know you have another meeting to get to. So I'm just gonna pass it right on over to you. Nona Robinson is the Associate Vice President of Students at Trent. So welcome.
Thanks, Lori. And hi, everyone. Welcome to all the folks who are new to Trent. And for those of you who did your undergrad, welcome back. Hope all is well and that you're getting some really useful information and getting a sense of who everyone is, even though we're doing this virtually. I want to talk a little bit about what different supports are available for you, as well as, you know, I know you've been hearing from folks like Sandra about what sorts of sort of community type and social things that are available for you as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share our resources chart, which I believe Lori has also put into the shared folder for you. This chart is also available on the website. It's, I think, very helpful for folks to be able to take a sort of a snapshot view of all the different services that are available if you're not quite sure where to start. And if you're looking for support and you don't know where to start, probably the best place is with graduate studies and or Trail College. Those folks are both very familiar with all the different services and they can direct you as needed. But just going through some key contacts for each area. We have a lot of folks who are available to help out with any sorts of issues that you have and help you navigate the system. The Trent Graduate Student Association, I mentioned Trail College. Our office is the Office of Student Affairs, and so we do a lot of work with students around conduct issues and other types of supports. There's a Center for Human Rights, Equity, and Accessibility, so if there's any sort of human rights concerns that you might have, they're very helpful. And if you're a TA, you of course are unionized under QP. Sometimes I think folks don't think of graduate students as necessarily needing academic assistance, but grad work is very different from undergrad in many respects. And so obviously speaking with your faculty members is a very valuable first start if you're running into any sort of tangles. The academic advisors are based in each college, and they actually do some programming for graduate students as well as undergrad students. You know, if you're getting stuck on writing, for example, if you're trying to write a thesis, they have a sort of thesis writing group that a number of students participate in. They also can help you out with things like planning out a much longer project that you're going to be doing as a graduate student and some time management around that. They have a whole range of different workshops and they've got a lot of different very useful information online, so they're definitely worth checking out. The library, of course, you know, a huge resource for you. You've either heard from them or are about to hear from them. So all of those academic resources are very helpful if you're sort of putting together, you know, your own study plans, or if you're a graduate student or a TA and you're looking for support for some of your undergraduate students. Safety and security. You know, while we are largely virtual at this point, our campus security and walk home do provide security on campus. They're available 24/7. Campus Securities. So they're also a good first stop if you're concerned about any sort of safety issues. And we work, my office works very closely with them. So if students coming forward and is concerned about their safety, we'll work together with security to make sure that that student's supported. Parking, if you're driving to campus, as of the start of September, you will need a parking pass. The Trent Card office, you get a Trent Card. TFRT is the Trent University First Aid Response Team, but they're actually not going to be running this year because we're expecting far fewer people on campus. In terms of finances, again, grad studies for graduate students is probably your best first stop because they help administer financial aid for grad students. But if you've got questions about your accounts, your payments, any of those sorts of things, financial services is available. And the financial aid office, again, works with grad studies around, any sort of questions you have around things like OSAP or other student aid. Housing services, we do provide some grad housing down at Trail in terms of apartments. And so they work closely with Trail College on that. We are running food services this year on campus. Each of the 4 main on-campus dining halls are going to be open at Lady Eaton, Champlain, Autonomy, and Zosky. Popular, we also have the Starbucks open in the Student Center, and I believe that's opening next week. And there's a place called The Planet in the Athletic Center, which probably has the best smoothies on campus, and that's going to be open too. So that's available for you. What many students do is they put money on their Trent Card, and then you can just use that to pay, and it's very fast and convenient. Wellness is another thing, and I think especially for grad students who've maybe finished off their courses and are then in the middle of writing, sometimes that can be a little bit isolating and challenging for people. So one of the things is to keep an eye on your own wellness, both in terms of physical health and also mental health. Our wellness center, again, located in Blackburn, and I should mention all of these services are also available online. We have health services. They are open for in-person appointments this fall. They've been open all summer. They're also now doing telephone appointments. So if you need to see a doctor or a nurse, you can make an appointment to go into health services and see them. And of course, as you can imagine, they have safety protocols around COVID prevention, but they're available. Or you can do a telephone appointment. So, for example, if you need a prescription renewed. Our student accessibility services also serves grad students in terms of any needed accommodations that you have or support around an accommodation plan. Counseling services available to grad students. Our counselors are doing virtual counseling. We also have a whole range of different other tools and that are available to students, including therapy assisted online and various other sorts of things, so that students can also be working on any particular thing that they need to in between appointments with therapists. And we've structured our counseling services so that if you're coming in for a first appointment, you will be seeing a counselor generally the same day. And that's very much let's talk about what you need at this point, and we get you the support that you need at that point. Sexual violence, unfortunately, is a reality of life, and we have a sexual violence prevention coordinator who also does support for survivors. So we do a lot of prevention training with students, and we also, as I said, provide support for survivors. And everybody has different needs in those sorts of cases, so we're very much guided by what the survivor wants in terms of whether or not they want to file a report, or whether they want counseling support, whether they want to go to the police. That's obviously their choice, and we'll support them through that. Peer support program is sort of peer counseling. That's mostly undergrads. Spiritual affairs, if you're a person of faith and you want to make a connection, particularly if you're new to Peterborough, we have partnerships with a whole range of different faith groups in the Peterborough area, and so the Spiritual Affairs website lists those, and most of our partners are doing virtual services and virtual one-on-one meetings with people. The student benefits you've probably heard about already in terms of the health benefits. You can opt out of them if you have previous coverage, but it's the same benefits plan for the undergrads and the grads, and it has a whole range of different things that are covered, so that's worth checking In terms of Indigenous students, we have the First Peoples House of Learning, which provides a whole range of different cultural supports for students, as well as cultural counseling. And many Indigenous students find that very helpful and valuable. FPHL also provides educational work for non-Indigenous people in the community to help people to understand local protocols, local cultural traditions, as well as making sure that people are aware of Indigenous issues. International students, Trent International provides a whole range of different supports for them. I know it's a very tough time right now for international students, particularly if you're trying to get in from out of country. And they're helping to coordinate things like visas and study permits and quarantines and all of those sorts of things. So if you've got any questions about that, you can get in touch with them. In terms of careers, this is again something that many grad students want to look into. Some folks go on from their PhD to academic positions, but there are lots and lots of things that people do other than academic positions with graduate degrees. The career space, which is located physically in the Student Center, but again doing a lot of virtual counseling, very, very helpful for things like resume and job interview counseling, just overall career goals, alternatives to academics, all of those sorts of things. And they also run the student job board. So I know that many of you will be TAing, but if there's other jobs that you're interested in on campus and off campus for that matter, many local employers also list stuff there. The Registrar's office, again, physically located in Blackburn, and they will be doing sort of a front desk function with appropriate plexiglass and various things like that. And they're the other folks, if you've got questions about things like transcripts or transfer credits or academic policies or any of those sorts of things. But again, probably start with graduate studies for that. There's an IT help desk in the Battle Library, and again, they're doing a lot of stuff virtually as well. They're brilliant. You basically email them at it@trent.u.ca and get an answer usually very, very quickly. And they can usually walk you through any sort of computer problems you're having. They also have a lot of great resources on their website in terms of different software that's available and things like that. And if you need any printing done, like your thesis, our campus print shop, again, located in Blackburn Hall, they have very fast turnaround for printing, and they're certainly available for anyone who's needing it. I do want to mention something else that we have called the Student Support Certificate. And again, this is available on the Human Resources website or on our website, which is also where campus resources and services are. We have workshops that are open to all employees of Trent University. So if you're a grad student and a TA, you're more than welcome to sign up for these. This includes things like suicide prevention, campus resources and referrals, active listening, conflict resolution, all of those sorts of things. We've had a large number of TAs come through those workshops, and many of them find them very useful because you may in fact be encountering various things as a TA in particular with your undergrads, and this will help you to be able to navigate some of that. So in the chat function, does anyone have any questions about any of that? I'm going to stop sharing.
I think there was one question there, Nona. Michael was asking, are counseling services available remotely, online, or over the phone?
Yes, they are. So we are having the counseling office open for intakes, but the counselors themselves are doing all of their counseling remotely, or almost all of it. The main reason for that, and we had quite a lot of discussion about this over the summertime, is they as one felt that it's much more valuable to be able to see people's faces versus sitting in an office 6 feet apart with a mask on. And so that is available online. We've moved all of our services online. We'll have a presence in some cases on campus for people to come into an office, but those sort of one-on-one support services are being held online. So we're finding it's fast and easy for people to book appointments.
Any other questions?
Okay, so just to wrap up, I know it's a very, very different year for all of us. It's a very interesting time to be starting graduate work. But I've been working with Sandra all summer. She's been doing some really interesting and innovative programming for building community. I think one of the challenges for all of us is to sort of fight the isolation and try and get connected, even if we are mostly working remotely. So we're here for you, and we're here to support you. We really are trying to replicate as much as we can the Trent experience, even if it's going to be mostly virtual. So I hope that you do have a wonderful year and very fulfilling academic work, and make a strong connection to this university. I've been here for over 8 years now, and I adore it. So good luck, everyone.
Thank you so much, Nona.
Okay.
Great.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye. Okay, so we are going to take a little break here. We had scheduled about a 10-minute break here, just because we have a lot of people to get through, and it's a lot to do all in one sitting. And normally we would have a coffee break where you could go out in the hall and grab a coffee and a muffin, but unfortunately this year virtually, yeah, you'll have to run to your kitchen and get your coffee or water, or head out, go to the washroom, whatever you need to do right now. So my clock is saying 10:07, so we're going to come back about 10:20. So yeah, feel free to leave your computer, your laptop, and just take a break. And I am going to attempt to share my screen for those people who are not leaving, and just play a couple little quick videos. But yeah, we will see you back at 10:20. So see you then.
Program at Trent University. I came to Canada specifically to attend the undergraduate program here at Trent, and I did my degree in biology, and right after it I started in the environmental life sciences program as a master's student. What I like the most about being a student at Trent is the freedom that I have, and also all the possibilities and the doors that are open once you're part of this community. You're able to connect with other universities, other professionals, and also to expand your ideas and your research. I am very nervous about defending my PhD thesis, but at the same time, I know I have the support from my supervisor and the members of the committee, and they made sure I am prepared for that. And the things and experiences that I had during the program here will allow me to take my knowledge that I acquired doing academia and apply it to the business world.
We're very much thinking carefully how we recreate and nurture the community of learning that we've always had, but do this in a safe way.
In a sense, we're all participating in a great experiment, and we're doing it on a scale that we've never really witnessed before. So it's actually a really exciting time to be a student.
Going remote offers many opportunities. There are more technology choices and tools that can connect us virtually. We can learn new and novel ways to learn that we have never explored before.
One of the great things that we can use is Zoom, and we are discovering so many amazing features that will ensure collaboration for us as educators and for you as learners. We can use it for polling, we can use it for breakout rooms. So as a teacher, I can use a whiteboard in that room as a smartboard. So if you're aware of smartboards in classrooms, I can be using a graphics tablet to write on that as if I was writing on a smartboard with you in the classroom. I can capture all of that for you to refer to later in exactly the same way as I would do if we were meeting face to face.
I will be recording lectures in Yuja, and they'll be designed to coach students through different aspects of the readings and the assignments as we work through the various modules in the course.
Blackboard is a great learning tool so that we can check in with each other in real time as and when appropriate and possible, but we can also be working in a collaborative way asynchronously, which is of great benefit to all of us.
One of the really cool features about Blackboard as well is the mobile application, which lets students check the Blackboard courses in a really easy to use mobile application. They get notifications of grades or when new content has been posted.
But we recognise that this semester it's not going to be possible for us to work in exactly the same way on the Trent campus. However, that doesn't mean that we can't continue to go outside and to take the learning on the land. But instead of me taking a class outside or any other professor taking a class outside together, we can still go outside. We can go outside together remotely.
We're going to be using an app this fall called iNaturalist, which is an identification app that helps people recognize and identify plants and animals and insects in their local environment.
We're really looking forward to welcoming you to Trent University in September. Undoubtedly there'll be some challenges going forward, but we always try to actively construct communities of learners where we work together and learn together collaboratively, and we will be doing that in September just as we always do.
PhD program. That's where I graduated. I chose Trent because I'd met a professor from Trent at the University of Cologne at a big conference, and Trent had a fabulous reputation, especially for interdisciplinary research, which is what I was into. I have a degree, or I came to it with a degree in physics and English. It was for me not just the campus, but also the Peterborough community. So I felt that dialogues between the campus and the community were very inspirational for me. Things about Peterborough for me was the integration of the sort of academic field or the academic discourse at Trent and the artistic and activist community in Peterborough. So what led me to a PhD was a passion for teaching and passion for creative thinking. So in many ways, Trent University, and especially the Cultural Studies program, was a great forum for that. I'm really fortunate to have sort of found my way into, into an academic profession, a teaching profession, which in many ways is what I was most passionate about. Greatly inspired by not only my fellow students, but also the amazing faculty. I had a tremendous supervisor, Veronica Hollinger, who, without her, none of this would have led to that kind of success. So I'm going to say intellectual generosity is one of the things that I'm going to take away from the whole Trent experience.
I'm a PhD graduate from the Environmental and Life Sciences program here at Trent. I actually started my undergrad here at Trent way back in 2009, and the facilities here specific to what I want to do with environmental chemistry where it didn't make sense to really go anywhere else. All of the state-of-the-art analytical techniques that we're currently using and are cutting edge are right here at Trent, so it was a perfect fit for my research. Here at Trent, the analytical techniques specifically for water characterization and looking at organic constituents within the water are unmatched by any other Canadian university. So we actually have some of the only machines for that level of characterization here at Trent. So some of the work that I conducted from my PhD, it wasn't planned, but it directly led to a couple of breakthroughs specifically with algae and what we can use from the algae to uptake metals such as mercury from wastewater. That was of particular interest to local businesses here in Peterborough, such as NobleGen, and we partnered up and we went through with a few patenting processes to secure a variety of grants and awards for that same work, such as the NSERC PGSD Award and the W. Garfield Weston Award for Northern Research. So right now, I'm a postdoctoral researcher at the University of Sherbrooke for the rest of this summer. And starting in September, I'm the recipient of the NSERC Postdoctoral Fellow Awards. So I'll be working at the University of Toronto as a postdoctoral fellow for the next 2 years. I was always interested in water quality because I grew up right here on the river. My parents would bring me up fishing in this river, and I'd always say, oh, I'm going to go to that university one day. And I didn't anticipate on doing a PhD. The opportunities here at Trent, really, the doors opened once you work hard, and everything to make it happen is here.
Hello, welcome back, everybody. Hopefully everybody's had a good little stretch and grabbed a drink or a washroom break. Everybody can hear me okay? Okay, it looks like a large majority of people are here. Okay, so we're just going to keep on going with the remainder, the second half, I guess, of our orientation. So I'm going to introduce to you Joan Mann. She's the Affordability Coordinator with Financial Aid here at Trent. So Joan, over to you.
Okay, thank you. Good morning, everyone. Welcome. I'm the Affordability Coordinator for the Financial Aid, and unfortunately we're having some computer issues this morning and my presentation is not going to load. So I'm going to be just sharing it with you by voice, okay? So hopefully most students have applied for OSAP already, and your OSAP application is up and going, and you can see a confirmation of enrollment status. So you need to make sure all your paperwork is done and you get to that spot where everything is in, and it's a combination of loans and grants for the year. If you have sufficient funding and you don't want the loan part, you can just click on it and say you just want the grant from the OSAP. But I recommend that all students apply for OSAP. If nothing else, take the grant portion. So the big thing with grad students is what to report on their OSAP for incomes, and you need to report all your under award income, your scholarships that you're getting from the departments for graduate studies. So you need to put that in. Next, under earned income, that's where your TA money goes. So you really need to have them separated. And if you're in for 3 terms, you're allowed to make up to $16,800. That would be a combination of any TAing and any outside jobs you have. So if it's not more than that, you don't need to report it. But do report any awards or scholarships you're getting, because the first $1,800 is exempt, but after that you will have a reduction in your OSAP. So make sure to report all that. If you're an OSAP student, you have until September 28th to have your fees paid for the semester. And that would change, like for January, it would be the end of January and the end of May. So that's if you're an OSAP student. If you're not being funded by OSAP or out of province funding, you need to be paying by the end of this month. Okay. So some key things with applying for OSAP, you need to either apply for 1, 2, or 3 semesters. You will see them all listed. So if you're going to be here right from September to the end of August, you could apply for all 3 terms at once. The percentage of your course load is always 100% unless you're a disability student and have part-time, like a 50%. So they're going to ask you about being married, single, sole support. All that is included in information about you and your spouse, if there is a spouse. So there's a lot of different information on that OSAP. If you have made a mistake and you've submitted it, you cannot fix it yourself. You would go to your My Trent. Under the Finance tab, you would find a little section called OSAP Change of Information. That's how to contact us at any time to change things on your OSAP. So My Trent, Finance tab, OSAP Change of Information. Everybody should be registered with the National Student Loan Center. They're the ones that actually do the dispersing of the money. So you need to have your banking information in with them. But you can go in and track any loans and grants, especially if you've had some money through your undergraduate. You might want us to see where you're at and how much is there. Loan repayment starts 6 months after you graduate from full-time or finish full-time. And at that point, you can work with National if you don't have a job to get some interest-free time. So there's some very important frequently asked questions in our area. So what are possible reasons your OSAP funding could be delayed? Well, right now, the one reason would be that you're not billed yet. I just looked this morning, so it's not billed. The other would be your semesters are not matching. So if you've put down in your OSAP, you're going to study for 3 semesters right from September to August, you also need to have on there, you need to have in your My Trent, you need to be registered for all 3 semesters. We will not release any of your funding until that's done. And the reason that happens is because we give 60% of your funding gets released now and 40% in January. So you get no money coming in the summer. So you have to do some big planning, some budgeting for the whole year. So you figure out how much OSAP funding you are getting, how much the school is going to take for your tuition, and then you've got to balance that budget for 12 months. So really keep that in mind. There are bursaries you can apply for. and that would be every semester you can apply for bursary funding, and that would be through your My Trent under the Finance tab. You would have the month of September, you would have the month of January, and the month of May. So those are the 3 times you apply for bursaries, and you would do that through your My Trent. So we talked about how to get the no loan. So that would be once your OSAP's calculated, you can click on a button that says, I just want to take the grant money. Other students will not be taking OSAP now that they're in graduate studies, but they need to let OSAP know, I'm still in school, I can't make my payments. There is a 3rd application on the OSAP website. That's something you would fill out and just get a confirmation of enrollment interest-free status. And it would come into our queue. We would verify if you're signed up for all your terms, and we would let them know you're still in school, okay? So I explained that the OSAP is dispersed twice a year. How do I update OSAP if you finish early? Like I indicated earlier, through your My Trent under the Finance tab, there's that OSAP change form. Let us know. I would go in and adjust your OSAP accordingly. Let them know how long you stayed full time and what costs you incurred. So that's how the OSAP works there. Some students are going to find out they have restrictions on their file. They can work directly with me. Sometimes like things like bankruptcy, lifetime limits. If you've been in school for 340 weeks, which is about 10 years of study, you do run out eventually of OSAP. So if you're in a PhD program, then it's extended a little bit longer. For a master's student, it is up to 340 weeks. So that's about all the information I really want to share with you. But like I said, the biggest thing is make sure your OSAP and your My Trent match. If you're registered for 3 semesters, your OSAP's for 3 semesters, all is good. We will be releasing them, I believe, next week. I believe that's when you're going to be billed, and then I'll go from there. So our phone number is 705-748-1524. That's the phone number for our area. Email financialaid@trentu.ca if you have questions, or go to our website, which is www.trentu.ca/student-finances. So that's all of the information I would want to share with you today. I can give my little presentation to the department if they need to upload it whenever the computers are working again. At least I got in on the Zoom meeting. So thank you and welcome to Trent.
Okay, thank you so much, Joan. Yes, if you can provide your presentation to me, I'll upload it with all the other orientation resources, and that will be available to all the students within a day or 2. So just checking quickly on the chat to make sure that questions have been answered before we say goodbye to you. Yes, I think we've just been posting some contacts.
I see a couple of questions there. How does OSAP, if you're getting out of province loan, same thing. We treat out of province loans just like OSAP students. So you have until end of September to have the payments made. I've been working with the out of province right now, confirming some of the students. So that should be going through. Yeah, and I think Aaron's indicated about the fees will be posted next week. Yeah, so if there's any other questions, feel free to just email financial aid or give us a call. Okay.
Okay. Thank you so much, Joan.
Okay. Have a great day.
Thank you. Next up on the agenda is Dr. Kathy Bruce. Hello, Kathy. So good to see you again.
Nice to see you.
Yeah, Kathy is the Acting Vice President of Research and Innovation, and she's going to talk to us a little bit about her office and how it kind of impacts grad students and how they can support them. Over to you.
Thank you. Thank you, Lori. First of all, I see there's 93 participants, well, 91 at this very moment, here this morning, and that is absolutely wonderful to see. And I want to congratulate you. You made it into a grad program at Trent. Bravo. I think you're going to find this, that Trent is a very special place, and that you will have the kind of supports that are really going to help you to thrive and pursue your areas of interest. By the end of the morning, I expect you will be somewhat overwhelmed, but also have a sense of all of the supports that are available to you at this university. And hope that you will see the research office as one of those areas of support. And so I do have a couple of slides. I'll see if I can share. I didn't know if there was, if Joan had been having trouble sharing, so I just see if this works. How's that, Lori? I tried to put
we can see that good.
Okay, so I tried. I actually don't put my slides into presentation mode because I find that when you put everybody's pictures at the top of the screen, you lose all parts of the screen anyway. So here we go. You get to see all those slides, and there aren't that many to go. But I want to say one thing before I get really into this, and that is that we at Trent, we see your research as a deep and important form of experiential learning. And it is going to be, you know, a critical part of your path. You know, sometimes there's different interpretations of what you're doing in your work as a grad student. But I personally, and many of us here at Trent, see that as experiential learning, and it's in one of its best forms. So the Office of Research and Innovation has a mandate to support the mission of advancing learning through the creative interaction of teaching and research of the highest quality. And Trent does have an excellent reputation for research as a primarily undergraduate institution. We're actually doing some wonderful research at the graduate level as well as the undergraduate level. And so we're responsible for the achievement of those research goals and objectives. And we work in cooperation with other departments to implement the strategic plan. So Dr. Brunetti is a very close colleague. We've worked together as deans, and we're going to continue to build that relationship. Here are some of the services that we provide. We're an institutional liaison, so we are continually working with external research agencies, Tri-Council, that kind of thing. We also work with public and private sector partners along the way. We have a Clean Tech Commons, which is a green energy kind of focused park that we're building, research park, and that kind of thing. So there's a lot of partners involved in a project like that. We are very much involved in grant support, in preparing and reviewing with researchers, in providing institutional authorization, signing off, you know, establishing research accounts, invoicing, reporting, disbursement of funds, press releases, communication notices. There's a lot there, all connected to grant support. In the category of communication, we are sending out lots of communications about calls for proposals and award agreements, that kind of thing. So we're back and forth a lot. Sometimes it's a larger communication, and once in the grant system, there's very much more one-to-one on that part of things. We do link and partner with other departments and units at the university and with external agencies. And part of that work is advocacy, actually. So we're representing the research community at the provincial and national levels. I'm sitting on the Equity, Diversity, and Inclusion Working Group of the Ontario Vice Presidents of Research group. And so there's all kinds of things that happen on the provincial and then at the national level as well, with good connections to Ottawa, lots of trips to Ottawa. I'm just getting started in this role, but that is one thing I'm looking forward to, is connecting with the colleagues provincially and nationally, and you know, representing Trent in that regard. We oversee all of the Tri-Council policies, and we're also involved in protection of intellectual property. This includes patents and other technology transfers of intellectual property in public and private sector. So what can we do for you? The first thing I'd say is we offer grad students experiential learning opportunities. As I said, I believe that what you are doing is extremely a deep version of experiential learning. And this includes opportunities to conduct research with with faculty, to develop lab skills, instrument development skills, to have a business partnership. There's many possibilities depending on your area of interest. We also have some summer awards in the McLean Foundation Graduate Student Summer Award Program. And that's a 16-week paid full-time research-based student-initiated activity. And some of the topics include environmental studies, watershed ecosystems, biology, and geography. And I also have there's a Vice President Research and Innovation Strategic Initiative Fund, and requests are welcomed from faculty, but also graduate students engaged in research. And those funds are directed toward research activities where perhaps some other funding couldn't be achieved. We also work with a host of research centers, and as you're coming into the programs, you'll be interested in particular centers, no doubt. But there's the Frost Center for Canadian Studies and Indigenous Studies. We have a DNA and Forensics Center, a Center for Biomaterials Research. We have a Center for Aging and Society, and we're just actually seeking a Canada Research Chair position in that area. We have a Water Quality Center, Archaeology Research Center, Environmental Modeling Center. We have a Center for Health Studies, Materials Research, and you can see and so on this list. And sometimes coming in new, you might not really understand the value or the work of a center, but that is often, these are engines for research. And so very good to know about them and see where you can connect in. So that's really, I'll stop sharing my screen as soon as I remember how to do that, Lori. Let's see. Stop share screen. There we go. So I'm open to questions or comments. I may not have a lot of answers because I am fairly new to the role, but I am. I would take those questions forward and get back to you. And thank you, Erin, for posting the link to the Office of the Research and Innovation. We're just about to go under a fairly massive website revamp in the next sort of 6 months, but there's lots and lots of information there.
Does anyone else have any questions for Kathy with regards to her department? I guess not, Kathy. So thank you for joining us from, it looks like, the bridge. You're hanging out on today.
I'm on the bridge. I'm on the bridge at Trent.
That's where we used to meet all the time, isn't it, Kathy? It's
That's
where we used to have our meetings. You're such a busy gal. Okay, well, thank you so much, Kathy. It was great to see you. And
yeah, thanks. And good luck to you all. I hope that we have many future positive encounters together.
Okay. Bye-bye. So we have 4 presenters left. I just want to give you a quick overview of who's to come. Chris Williams is absent next. He's the Science Facilities Manager. So if you're in sciences, this will be of particular interest to you. And after that, we will have Allison from QP to talk, mainly will be focused towards people with GTAs, but some good information. And then Dwayne Collins from the Battle Library, and then Preston Tilley. I know there's been a few questions about benefits, and Preston is from the Student VIP program and can talk all about benefits. So we have a brief presentation coming up now by Chris Williams, the Science Facilities Manager. And over to you, Chris.
Thank you, Lori. Well, first off, everybody, welcome. I hope that your first week at Trent's going to be good. I'm sure it will be. The weather seems to be nice, and congratulations on everybody getting here. I just wanted to do a quick presentation with people just to give you guys a sense, especially those who are in the sciences, as to what they sort of can expect around here. Of course, it's a different here, obviously. And so if it's all right with you, Lori, can I share a screen?
Of course, yeah, go right ahead. I've got it set up so panelists can all share.
Okay, so, okay, share.
There you go.
Hopefully you all see a small PowerPoint that starts off Science Services Safety at Trent. I'm assuming. Okay, so I just kind of want to go through a little bit. We've only got 10 minutes, which isn't a lot of time, and usually this is a little bit longer, so I will not be showing you all of these slides, so everybody can relax a little bit. But I do want to sort of give you a sense of what we've got. We've got 500,000 square feet of labs and research teaching offices that are spread out through 7 buildings. In the environmental science building, science complex, chemical sciences, the DNA A block and B block, and with life and health sciences C and D. And for those of you who are in that, you will come to realize that DNA and LHS are one big giant building, but we have split them sort of in 2. And of course, we have programs, undergraduate programs in chemistry, biology, physics, and forensics, psychology, environmental science, nursing, and geography. And we have a lot of analytical equipment. And I think the Vice President of Research referred to that. We have the Water Quality Center, which has a lot of very excellent mass spec analysis. We have lasers, we have an NMR, we have aquatic and animal holding areas. We have a number of environmental chambers that are capable of doing a variety of different parameters. We have some walk-in cold room and freezer storage. We have some containment labs, both from a biological perspective, and we also have containment labs for clean rooms. And we have a couple of greenhouses. So we have a lot of services that are available for people, but we also have sort of buildings that are a little bit older. So some of the buildings don't have all the up-to-date or high-tech services. Chemical sciences, DNA, and LHS have all really good baseline services for the sciences. Environmental science and science complex are older buildings, and so they don't have quite as much, although they're still very good lab buildings. So depending upon where your supervisor is located, then you may have access to reverse osmosis water in your lab, or you may have to collect it, depends on where you are. And your supervisor will let you know sort of the process for that. I wanted to let you know about this web page, which is actually www.trentu.ca/science services. If you have any questions on some of the services that we offer, on shipping and receiving a little bit, on chemical waste, that kind of thing, this is the website you want to go to. And I also want to highlight here the next one, which is the Science Safety Program, okay? Sorry that I didn't realize that that whole thing was there. Why don't we just delete that? Well, of course it won't delete that, never mind. I wish I could make that bigger, so maybe I'll see if I can just run the slideshow quick and then it'll go a little easier.
Chris, I think we are posting the links in the chat too, so people can open it on their own screen as well. So
I just want to point out that we have a science safety program here that has quite a bit of online training. Most of the online training is through Blackboard. Quite a bit of it now is online. There are still some which is classroom set, but obviously this year I'm going to have to change that, and that's any work with radioactive material. That thing is still set up as more of a classroom training. But I encourage you to go through the science safety program. We have a whole new chemical safety program that we put together last year, which is now in force. And so we do expect people who are working with hazardous chemicals to take that training. Again, the science safety program website lists all of this. And so you should take a look through from start to finish and make sure you do the mandatory training. And there's a number of mandatory training, including obviously the Ministry of Labor mandatory training through, I believe graduate studies will mandate that anyway. But there's a number of science specific training that you do need to make sure you complete. So you do have time, and a lot of it, like I said, is now online, so it's something you can do from home should you choose to do so. Okay. The actual modules themselves are on the Science Safety Program in Blackboard. There is on the web pages themselves, there are instructions on how to get to that, but it is a self-enroll course. So if you just go to your dashboard and search for or pick courses and then search for science safety, that course will come up. You can self-enroll, and then you will see the modules that are available in that course for you to take. Okay. Just wanted to remind those people who will be working with animals, vertebrate animals, that they should check out the animal care webpage and the requirements for working with vertebrate animals at the university. There are specific requirements for that. Jason, I suppose, may be talking to you at a later date. I'm going to skip over some of this for the sake of time, except I do want to talk to you a little bit about your reporting lines, just so that you understand who to go to talk to if you have any safety issues. If it's a thesis or research related question, you should talk to your lab or your thesis supervisor about those kinds of questions. If you are a TA or a lab demonstrator in a lab and you have questions about safety, you should talk to either the course supervisor or the chair of that department. So if it was chemistry related, you could talk to the staff technical lab demonstrator or supervisor or the course supervisor, or if you needed to, you could talk to the chair of the department as an example. If at that point you've approached both of these aspects and you can't get a satisfactory answer to your questions or your concerns, then I strongly encourage you to talk to the dean or your graduate program director, I should say first, or the dean of science or the dean of graduate studies, to try to move their concerns forward that way. Okay. There is some, as I said earlier, some mandatory health and safety training that you need to do. This slide here gives you a little bit, but it's basically a takeoff of the web pages. So if you go to the science safety web pages, you'll find the similar information. Like I said, we do have a fair amount of training, both formal and informal, available. There is a training record that's also available, which you can use to keep track of what training you've done. You should work with your supervisor in deciding what training. Obviously, you don't need to do all of the training. If you're not going to work with radioactive material, you don't need to do that kind of training. So you should sit down with your supervisor, decide what training you do require. Okay. I just want to mention that this is a bit of a strange year for building and lab access. Normally, the buildings are open kind of later in the evenings, and so in a lot of cases you don't need to have card access, but you are going to require a lot of it this year. The way we grant that is your supervisor will send me an email, or should send me an email, with your name and card number, which is the 5 digits on the bottom back of your Trent ID card following the asterisk or the plus symbol. And they can then request access to specific buildings based on where your lab is. You do not get blanket access to everything. That it will be based upon where you need to get access to. Okay. And finally, I should point out that one of the people you'll deal with, probably potentially more than even me, is Angela Sikma, who's in our science facilities department as well. She looks after a lot of the day-to-day stuff like autoclaves and that kind of thing, and liquid nitrogen, et cetera. So I'm sure you'll be dealing with her. And as Lori indicated, there is a document that she will be posting from Angela about some of the science services that she looks after and how to access those and how to get the training. Okay. I'm not sure what my timing is like right now, Lori, but I think I'm right on.
You're right on. I
probably call it quits and quickly ask if there are any quick questions.
There's just one question there for you about completing certification if they've already done it from a past institution.
So it depends on where and what certification we're talking about. Some things are transferable, some things aren't. So the best thing to do is send me an email with your request for what it is. As I said, some training is transferable and some is not. So that's the easiest way to deal with that, okay? Any other questions?
Doesn't look like it.
Not hearing any. I will see if I can figure out how to get out of here and stop sharing my screen. Okay, how do I do that? Oh, hang on.
Probably just along the bottom of your screen, I think.
Yeah, I can't even get that part of the screen up right now. So, why is that not doing that?
We were having a lot of challenges at the beginning of our session, Chris. Like some
Yes,
people couldn't connect, and yeah.
Might be easiest just for me to leave. I think that would probably be the strength.
Okay, well, let's say goodbye. Your screen will disappear with you.
Goodbye.
Okay, bye-bye, Chris. Okay, well, next up on our schedule of presenters today is Allison Fraser. She's the Vice President of Unit 2, QP2, Local 908. And she is going to speak to you, I think, about QP and how they kind of work with grad students, particularly GTAs. So are you here? Out there you are. Excellent. Okay, over to you.
Hi.
Hi.
I promise I'm here. Okay. Gonna share my screen. I can do this. Okay, share. No, I have to select the screen. Perfect. Is everyone sort of looking at the QP 3908 document? Is that?
Yeah, we can see that.
Lovely. Perfect, because I can't see anyone anymore. My little laptop, I guess, can't show me Zoom and my screen, which is a little funny. But I'm Allie. Hi. I am your Vice President of Unit 2 for your union, QP 3908. And it's really exciting, obviously, start of the new semester. And did you know that you're unionized? Yay. So I'm gonna really quickly run through this introduction. And I just wanna ask that, if possible, can we hold the questions till the end of my presentation, just because I can't see them. And I'm also going to hang around in the chat after, so if you have more questions, I'm definitely going to be there to answer them. A copy of this presentation will also be made available to everyone. It will be on the Grad Studies website, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, that's right.
Perfect. And we'll get it emailed to you, so you'll have it many ways. And then for more information, the Unit 2 Collective Agreement, which is the document that really defines your role as employees, is of course on our website. And just really quickly, I want to sort of introduce that at QP, we have 2 units. Everyone here is Unit 2, which means you're a tuition-paying graduate student. Unit 1, don't worry about Unit 1s. They're more of our contract lecturers. So just to sort of demystify that. No role, yay. So as Unit 2, you can be employed in a number of ways. You can be a graduate teaching assistant, a GTA, an academic assistant, an AA. You can be a student marker and or a computer lab advisor. So most of you will likely be GTAs or AAs. So I'm going to talk about them the most. So GTAs work up to a maximum of 120 hours for a full GTA or 60 hours for a half GTA. And you can do a lot of duties in these positions. You can lead seminars, you can do marking, you may have to attend lectures or labs, and you'll work about an average of 10 hours per week. So sometimes you work a little less, sometimes you work a little more, but we're always sort of aiming for that average of 10 hours. So as previously mentioned, GTAs specifically will do some mandatory training, yay! And these are really important things. They're generally legislated by the government, which is why they're mandatory. And they're not the mandatory science safety training. That's really important as well, but this is different from that, just so everyone knows. And this training is like the Accessibility for Ontarians with Disabilities Act, the AODA, you have to go through that. workplace health and safety, which can include a manual on workplace harassment. There's a little manual about privacy laws. So it's all really important training, and all GTAs have to do it, which is why it's paid as part of your 120 hours. So just, record how many hours it took you, and then it's part of that. AAs and student markers, probably don't have to do this training, but if you do, still record how long it took you and include it as part of those hours, because you should still be paid for it. The training is all on Blackboard, and you generally only do it once. If the training modules get updated, so the AODA got updated a few years ago and we all had to redo it because it's important. So just a heads up on that. I find the university is really good at letting everyone know when you haven't done the training. So don't worry. And if the training modules aren't up on your Blackboard yet, they will be. So don't worry about those. Another important thing to know is that the university will provide all GTAs with everything you need to do your job. So this includes textbooks, lab stuff. I'm really sorry I don't know more about labs. I am a humanities student, but I assume the labs will have the stuff for you. Printing, so you don't have to worry about printing any documents. And since lots of us will be working remotely, Trent has headsets and webcams for students. It's a limited supply, so just so you know, but if you need to borrow technology, contact your department chair and they should have some for you. So you will be all set up and ready to go. AAs and student markers generally don't need these materials, but if you do, you can borrow, say, a copy of the textbook, just in case you need it. Generally, your course supervisor will have a copy of the textbook, and if you need it to mark, you can just sort of borrow it. GTAs specifically are supposed to have an office, but not all of us will be on campus, right? And not all of us are even permitted to be on campus. So if you are permitted to be on campus, you might get an office. This is a little bit up in the air right now. It's a little bit uncertain, and for good reason. So I'm sort of asking everyone to maybe keep track of, if you have any increased costs associated with working at home, so mostly hydro. I just want to sort of make sure that, working from home doesn't cost you money. And while we're sort of waiting to see what the government will legislate in terms of this, and I don't have any really good answers right now, just keep track of, your work from home costs, and I'll be sure to communicate any updates about this through a QP email. But yeah, that's sort of the thing about offices right now. In a pre-COVID world, GTAs would get an office. Right now, we don't really know, but I will be sure to communicate any updates. So academic assistance, back to AAs. In this position, so you're not a GTA, right? So you do less work than a GTA. You have fewer hours to work, but you can lead seminars or labs, or you can mark, but you're not responsible for all of the seminars or all of the marking, right? Because if you did all the work, then you'd be a GTA. And then as a student marker, you will, of course, mark. So you can work multiple jobs inside or outside of Trent if you want. And you can work as many hours as you can handle, but I really, really, really want to sort of instill upon everyone here that it's important to balance your work and studies. We understand that lots of us work multiple jobs, but I highly recommend not being a 6-year PhD like me. 6 years, it's a little long. And if you're an international student, sometimes your study permits will specify how many hours you can work. So that's just something to be aware of. All right, speaking of time allocation and workload. So your course supervisor or your lab demonstrator will create a document with you at the beginning of your position, outlining all your duties and how long each duty will take. And then you'll review this document together. That way, if your duties take longer than expected, you'll know right away, and you can email your course supervisor or lab demonstrator to make sure you work within that, 120 hours or 60 hours as a GTA. And, I know we are super passionate about the work we do, but, generally try not to work over your hours. That's time that you could be used for studying, or I hear socializing is a thing, or just generally being human. So these hours and these sort of hourly duty, like how many hours it will take each duty, is really important. And, it helps you to manage all the work you have to do. So on the CUPE website, we actually have a little work hours sheet. It's like a little Excel document, and you can fill it out, complete it, email it back to us, and you can win a little prize. I don't know what the prize is currently, but we're figuring that out. For AAs and student markers, right, you're generally hired to work again within a specific set of hours. It's generally less than a GTA. So I just want to sort of emphasize again, like in this culture of academia, we tend to overwork ourselves. So it's about working within your contracts so you can also study, so that you can also be a human being. Don't let one thing take up your entire life, What if you get sick? It happens, and Trent has amazing health services to support you. So as soon as you get sick, or as soon as you need to take a leave, just email your course supervisor. And if necessary, they will help cover some of your, if you have to miss some seminars, they'll help cover that. So the students will remain supported, if you can't be there. And, this is really important because the course supervisor, the lab demonstrator, they'll step up and they'll help you, so that you also don't have to worry about your fellow GTAs. They won't get extra work if you're sick. Everyone's really supported, and it's just a great community. Financial support, money, right? We all know that everything is expensive. So CUPE has some money for you. We have the Professional Development and Employee Assessment Fund. It's a big title. And you can apply for up to $300 once a year for stuff you need. There's more details about what that stuff is on our website. I'm sorry, I'm not going to go into it in detail because, I want to keep us within our time. The UHIP reimbursement, international students, you have to get UHIP, so we can reimburse you up to $200. So definitely, again, that's on our website. Comfort Fund. Sometimes $25 goes a long way. Maybe it's a celebration. Maybe it's not a celebration. Either way, CUPE recognizes that sometimes a little bit of money can be helpful. So, get in touch with us if that seems like something that would be helpful. COVID. So Trent has been doing so much work to make sure that we are all safe and that we are all supported, whether or not we're working from home or on campus. It's just an amazing job, really. So if you're returning to campus, so for a lot of science students, this is really relevant. You have to do a special return to campus training module, like you have to. And it will be paid as part of your GTA. So if you're a science student, you have to return to campus for work for your GTA. You do that module, it's a part of your hours, so it's paid. That's because it's important and it's mandatory. If you ever feel unsafe, or uncomfortable, let us know, let CUPE know. We're absolutely here to support you, and we understand. Trent has a lot of new COVID-related policies, and I'm always happy to go over them with anybody. And, you won't be asked to sign any weird documents or anything if you return to campus, because we're really focusing on that training. And it's just so amazing that it's really trying to build in a community awareness. Again, I'm really impressed with the work Trent has done. So just take care of yourselves. Your health it's mental, it's physical, and it's emotional. And we're all here to support each other. Involved. We would love for you to get involved. It's a small time commitment, and you can get a $50 stipend for every semester you participate. You can be a steward, which means you'll get to be part of a network of students helping students, which is really exciting. If you're passionate about equity, we're forming a brand new equity committee, and we'll send out an email mid-September with more information about joining. So please keep an eye out for that. And there's still lots of ways to be involved. Sitting on a committee is an excellent experience and looks really good on your CV. So please reach out to me, get involved if you want. Contacting us, it's super easy, and we want to hear from you all the time. You know, trouble happens and you're not alone. Sometimes you'll have questions. There is absolutely no question too small. And, you know, maybe you had a really awesome day. I'm cool to hear about that. I love awesome days. So always email us. We love hearing from you. And your emails are confidential. You know, I don't do anything without your consent. Seriously, I know how important that is. I'm gonna put my email in the chat right after I'm done, but I am the vice president, so my email is vp2@qp3908.org. And that's it. That's my whole presentation. I hope it's a brief introduction, I know. I'm definitely, again, to reiterate, I'm gonna be in the chat, so ask questions, you can private message me questions. And I just want to thank everyone so much for listening to my crazy fast presentation. And I want to really thank Graduate Studies for organizing all of this. All right, I'm going to stop sharing my screen now.
Thank you so much, Ali. That was good, a really good overview. So yeah, thanks for hanging out. If there's further questions in the chat, that will be really helpful. We're just going to move on now. Dwayne, you are here. Dwayne Collins, he's a digital scholarship librarian with Arvada Library. Welcome. Thanks for being here. And I'll put it over to you.
Thanks for having me. I'm going to say you're my first group of the new Zoom season, if you will. So I'm used to having some feedback and some audiences to bounce off of, and this will be interesting to see how well I can respond to a very flat screen in front of me instead of being able to see all of your faces. But on behalf of the Trent University Library and Archives, I just want to extend a welcome to Trent. I'm just going to start sharing my screen here. The good news for the library is that most of the library world has been moving towards sort of remote delivery and weird ways of delivering things electronically. So we're well equipped in the COVID environment to be able to support graduate research and scholarship through the library. You'll notice that my presentation is really just the library website because everything you need to know about the library can be found here. So my goal today is just to give you a brief overview of some of our departments and some of the language specific around our services and systems at Trent so that you can navigate things. And I'm going to start as well by saying it's never a bad idea to contact the library when you have questions, and that's what we're there for. We are experts in answering questions. So on every page, you'll find our email address of library@trentu.ca. So if you can't find it on the website or you're having trouble getting information, please always feel free to email us, and our library staff will be there to help you. From the library webpage, one of the main things you're going to hear a lot about is Omni. If you did your undergraduate degree at an Ontario university in the last year, you probably also heard of Omni. It's a new system that rolled out across 14 institutions in the province, which is lovely because it means that we're starting to look towards integrating research materials and getting access to systems from multiple universities and a more of a collaborative sharing environment. So this is the library catalog. This is where you can find pretty much everything we have, whether it's journal articles, books, ebooks. You can even actually, when you do a search, I'm just going to look for humanities because who doesn't love the humanities? But you can also search other library collections as well, which is a really great discovery tool for being able to find material, not only what's available at Trent, but what's out there overall, so that you can also possibly Interlibrary Loan. Our website is trentu.ca/library. And on the topic of Interlibrary Loan, you'll see that there's actually a little button here that will give you all the information to the Interlibrary Loan system, which is RACER. This is often used a lot by graduate students because we know that your research is extensive and that you're often doing very deep dives and comprehensive dives into your research material. So when we don't have something at Trent, RACER is the way to bring that material in. Right now, due to the COVID restrictions, physical interlibrary loan is not currently operating, but we can still do digital interlibrary loan. And that is limited to book chapters. I know it's rather than full ebooks, but it does mean that you can also get journal articles as well. And if there are questions in the chat, I just realized I would make the reminder that Ali made from QP that I can't see them, so I'll try and address them at the end. Yeah, so on the COVID front though, physical services will be becoming phased in. We're going to be doing a phased in approach starting in September. So you will have access to being able to order materials for pickup from the library. We may not have the stacks open immediately, but we are looking at a phased in approach. We are doing our best to keep up with professional standards, and the every day brings us new information. So we are adapting over time, but you will be able to at least go into the library to pick up your materials as well. Other things of note is that if you're used to using a particular database product, particularly if you work in, say, if you're in a nursing or health sciences related area, you might be used to things like Medline. We do have a databases A to Z, which just lists everything. Many people, for example, prefer to actually access JSTOR directly, and this is how you can access this if you don't want to do so through Omni, but you can often find this material just by searching Omni as well. I also like to point out our research guides. Many of our research guides are devoted to the departmental sort of disciplinary approach, and they are geared towards undergraduate students, but as graduate students, these are always great to familiarize yourself with. As previously mentioned, you might be doing TA-ships, so knowing what information is available for the students that you're teaching is great, and this is a way to find that. It's also a really good way to sort of just familiarize yourself with any of the particular pieces unique to Trent. While we are looking at more unified systems like Omni, every academic library does things just a little bit different. So if you didn't do your undergraduate degree at Trent, you may not be quite as familiar with how we are doing our library services. And they'll be similar, but just a little bit different than what you're used to. In addition, you'll also find tutorials, general library tutorials that we also use for students. And then we also have things like citation management. Citation management is often a big one for graduate students. I encourage you early on in your research to look into citation management because it will save you a lot of heartache and headaches when you get to the dissertation writing stage if you are writing a dissertation. Other areas of interest are our archives and special collections. There's a lot of local and Canadiana material located there. They will be open for limited service in the fall as well. The MAPS Data Government and Information Center is especially skilled towards helping you with finding data sets, statistical data, but also supporting for GIS work as well. If you are working with anything related to spatial data and GIS, they are the go-to place for support. You can actually get access to ESRI software, as well as they are the group that supports the library's data visualization lab, which has some unique software which helps with your data analysis, including things like InVivo, NB, and ArcGIS. And then finally, I will end with talking about digital collections. I'm going to actually click on this one because digital collections is also where we house our graduate thesis collection. So these are our digitized local resources. And eventually, this is where if you are doing a dissertation or thesis, it will end up. Often, many people are interested in seeing what information is available and what other work has been done in the department just to get a feel for things. So this is where you can find it. It just defaults to showing you the most recent. However, you can actually go and look at things by, say, program. And find all of the theses that have been published in the last little while, since we've moved to a digital submission system, which is great. And you will hopefully all join these your colleagues here with your work here as well. And I think much like QP, I have my very quick sort of roundabout sort of approach to library services, but I'll pause here and see if there are any questions.
I see there's been a few questions happening, but I think they've mainly been regarding the last presentation we had. Aaron, Jesse, have you been fielding any on your own? I'm just scrolling back myself too. I haven't noticed any coming in, Dwayne.
All right.
We're good, Laura.
Okay.
Excellent. Well, I'll reemphasize, if you do have any questions, library@trentu.ca is the place to go. We will, as the library reopens in the fall, you'll see increased access to things like graduate student carols and things like that as we reopen the building slowly throughout the fall in response to how things progress on campus. Yeah, I'll leave it there. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dwayne. I love how the library is just over there above your right ear. That's perfect. Little
It may have been selected on purpose.
That's great. It's a good shot behind you. Okay, have a good day. Bye-bye. Thank you. Okay, our very last presenter. We've made it through. We're kind of almost perfectly on time, just a couple minutes early. Thanks for being here early. Preston, nice to see you. I've never met you before.
Hi.
Hi. So Preston Tilley, she's a communications and brand strategist with VIP. So talk about the benefits that grad students have. Thank you.
Amazing. Yeah, thank you, Lori. Hi, everybody. My name is Preston Tilley. I am from Student VIP, as we've mentioned. I am part of the brokerage that administers the student health and dental plan for all Trent students. So the undergraduates, the graduates, and then the Trent Durham College from the Oshawa campus as well. So just here to talk a little bit about your benefits, give you a little bit more information, background on what the plan entails, and then how to find a little bit more information regarding different aspects of the plan. So I just went ahead and shared my screen, and this is our studentvip.ca website where you can find all of the information about your plan. The URL there is just studentvip.ca/Trent, and all the plan information is on there. So just to give you a little bit of background about the plan and what it entails. As a full-time graduate student, you are automatically assessed the fee for the health and dental plan as part of your tuition. So you've already paid for this fee, which means you're automatically enrolled in the plan. The plan does start September 1st, and it does last until August 31st of the following year, so August 31st, 2021. The fee for the plan is $458. So that is, again, included as part of your tuition. And this coverage gives you access to prescription medications, dental, extended health, vision, travel, accident coverage, and all that fun stuff. So that's everything that's included in your plan. And you are able to access your plan right away. So there's no type of enrolling yourself or registering yourself anywhere. You're automatically opted into the plan as of September 1st. And all you need to do to access the plan is you just need to download a plan card. So I'll just show you how to do that here. It's really easy. When you go to our website, you can actually click on the little benefits tile here, and you just go ahead and click on that. And all you would do there is enter in your full name, student ID number, and then you have the ability to either download your plan card or print it. A new feature that we're really happy to offer this year is that you're actually able to download your plan card right to your Apple Wallet or Google Wallet. So it's right on your phone, and you can just pull it up at any time. Super convenient and easy. Typically, we would offer the plastic plan cards on campus as well that you can pick up from the TCSA office. However, COVID-19, so everything a little bit more digital this year. Really do access benefits and that have information, your identification number that you would need if you were bringing that equipment. So when you bring it to the dentist, pharmacy, if you're traveling abroad and you need assistance, if you're visiting the massage therapy clinic, if you're visiting the physiotherapist, all you need is that card there. If you already have access to health insurance through a private insurance plan through, an employer or a spouse, you do have some options here. So you can either keep the benefits plan and combine your benefits with your private plan to get better coverage, so you can get higher overall maximum. So instead of being covered at 80%, you can get covered at 100%.
I think we have probably just had technical problems again. Maybe, oh, Ellie, are you there?
Sorry.
Okay, yeah, your audio was clicking out a little bit for the last minute or two. Can you hear me okay?
What?
It's just kind of choppy now.
You, moderately.
Okay.
Yeah, I can hear you better now. How is it now?
Yeah, it sounds okay. Yeah, it was just
It's
choppy
okay
for
now?
the last minute
Oh,
before
okay.
you disappeared, so. Okay, go ahead.
Gotcha. Okay, no problem. Yeah, modern technology.
Fun.
Alrighty. You can hear me okay now?
Yes, we can hear you. We can't see you, but as long as we can hear what you have to say, that should be good. Oh, okay, you're back. Good. Screen sharing.
Yeah, that's okay. No problem. Perfect. So we can see screen share and everything?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Fabulous. All right. Perfect. So we'll talk a little bit about opting out of the plan, because that is fairly important. So you do have the ability to opt out of the plan starting September 1st, and you have up until September 30th to opt out of the plan. So super easy to do. It's one of the main pages on our website. All you would need to do is select this opt out button here. Again, it's not open right now, but essentially what you would do is you would create an account. You would fill out all of your alternative coverage details, and then we would verify you against the enrollment list, and you would get that refund of the $458. You have the ability to get that refund either through e-transfer or direct deposit back into your bank account. And typically those refunds come back every couple of weeks or so. So it does take about 1 to 2 weeks in order to get that refund, but you'll get it right back into your bank account. Alternatively, if you have dependents that you would like to opt into your plan, you do have the ability to do this as well during the same period, so September 1st until September 30th, and you can just do that by pressing the opt-in button here on the screen. So all you would do is, again, create an account, you would enter in your dependents information, and then you would pay an additional fee to be able to opt those dependents in. They do get their own overall maximums and their own policy number and everything like that. They would just be the dependents on your plan. So super easy. Kind of try to make everything all housed in one place there. Something I do want to touch on very quickly is our provider search tool, which is a really great tool that was introduced last year. So this just gives you the ability to find practitioners in your area who offer student-friendly pricing and direct billing. So I'll give you kind of an example here. I'm in Kamoka, which might explain kind of the not so great internet connection here. So it's a little bit 20 minutes outside of London. But essentially what you can do is you can put in your address and you can select what type of health professional you're looking for. Let's say we're looking for dental services and we're looking in a 50-kilometer radius around us. So we are here. And you will see the provider list that pops up on the right-hand side here. So all of the ones that are blue and have the check mark are preferred practitioners, so they're part of our network. So they do offer student-friendly pricing and direct billing as well. If you keep scrolling down, you'll see that there are some practitioners highlighted in white. These practitioners are not part of our network, so we can't guarantee that they would offer student-friendly pricing and direct billing, but we always like to keep the ones that are on our network highlighted at the top so that there's more money being kept in your pocket, which is really great. So that's kind of our website. That's kind of the main features that might be useful for you folks. There is a ton of information on this website. It does go over all of our coverage maximums and details on our website as well. If you click on the Your Coverage tab, you can kind of see all of the different aspects of your plan and some additional information regarding, travel, accident, vision, drug, extended health. So I do recommend, if you do have any kind of specifics about the plan that you're kind of curious about, you can click through our website and all that information is there. I do want to touch on a couple frequently asked questions that we do get from a lot of students. Typically in an orientation, I would be able to be on campus and field these questions. So what I wanted to do this year was kind of put together a list of questions that I generally get, and then kind of try to answer those questions preemptively for you folks. So how long does it take me to get paid after I make a claim? So if you're submitting a claim through Medivie Blue Cross portal, which we do have information on how to do that on our website, if you click on the Blue Cross portal tab right on the homepage, you do get redirected to a page where you can find more information about how to register for the Blue Cross portal, how to get your benefits card, what your policy number is, and then how to submit claims as well. All that information is on here. But if you are submitting a claim through the Medivie Blue Cross portal, you can sign up for direct deposit, and then you can expect to receive your reimbursement within 3 to 5 business days. So it is very, very quick. You do have the ability to also submit a paper claim, which we don't recommend because it does take a little bit longer. But if you do prefer that, the turnaround time on that is around 7 to 10 business days, and then you do receive that reimbursement via check, emailed or mailed to your address. But all the information on how to register for the portal is on here, as well as how to make a claim if you do have questions about that as well. We do have a very thorough walkthrough on how to do that too, with some videos and all that kind of stuff. So what does my plan cover? So like I mentioned before, your plan covers you for things like prescription medications and drugs, extended health coverage for things like massage therapy, physiotherapy, chiropractor, psychotherapist, psychologist, speech therapy, and then a number of other practitioners as well. We do have the list on the extended health coverage page here, as well as the overall maximums as well. So you can kind of take a look at what is included in there. And then you're also covered for dental, vision, travel, and accident coverage as well. How do I get a copy of my health benefits card? So we already talked about this a little bit more, but like I mentioned, you can just click on our homepage and you can click on the benefits card tab there, and you can download it right to your phone. You can also download your family's or your dependents' cards on here as well. You would just log in and you would be able to populate a card for them as well. So however many family members you have or dependents you have on the plan, you can populate a card for them. When am I covered until? So students have a full year of coverage. So they have coverage until August 31st of the following policy year. So you do have a full year of coverage there. How do I submit a claim? Like I mentioned, on our Make a Claim page, we have a ton of information on there about how to submit the claims on the Medivie Blue Cross portal. We also do have the Medivie Blue Cross mobile app, which is really great as well. You can do everything from your phone, which is super quick, easy, convenient. All you have to do is take pictures of the receipts, and you can upload them directly to the Medivie Blue Cross mobile app. The Make a Claim button when you log in is right on the front page there. Super easy, quick, and again, you do have the ability to sign up for direct deposit through the portal or the mobile app, so the reimbursements will go right into your bank account, which is great. How do I know how much coverage is left on my plan? We do recommend that you check the Medivie Blue Cross member portal, or you can call Medivie Blue Cross directly. We do have a designated phone line for you folks so that you can call them. We have it on our website if you were to go to the homepage, and then our health plan contacts under contact information. You would see Medivie Blue Cross. So again, we do have a designated line for you folks, and then we also have a designated email for you folks as well. So you can call or email to see how much is left on the plan. How can I see how much dental or massage I have left? Again, same type of thing. You can either check the Medivie Blue Cross portal, or you can call the dedicated line or the dedicated email address. Something that I do want to touch on is our Direct to You Health Hub, which is something that, you know, is very timely given the fact that we all are kind of living in a virtual age right now with the COVID-19 pandemic. But it is something that we kind of rolled out essentially at the same time that COVID-19 kind of happened. So our Direct to You Health Hub, it gives you access to healthcare services and resources that are designed to save you time and money, and these things are all digital. So you can access them from the comfort of your own home, which is amazing. So if you click on the Learn More tab on the Direct to You Health Hub, you'll see all of the different aspects that we have included in in this health hub for you. So we have direct to you physiotherapy, which is really, really cool. It's virtual physiotherapy that you can do from the comfort of your own home. So it's advanced video telehealth technology that connects you with a physiotherapist in real time. You can access it through your computer, phone, tablet, whatever is most comfortable for you. And you do have access to a registered physiotherapist within 24 hours. So they are able to assess you through video. They'll ask you to do a variety of movements to kind of see, you know, where the pain might be and why. And then they actually give you a tailored exercise plan that you can do from the comfort of your own home. So you get supervised from the same physiotherapist from your initial visit and the follow-up visits. You'll have the same physiotherapist for that entire time. And it is very cost effective. The initial visit with the physiotherapist is $59, and then each follow-up visit is $39. So very, very cost effective. And again, you don't have to go anywhere. You can do it from the comfort of your home, which is amazing. So they do have the actual physiotherapy therapists ability to connect with them. And then we also have a general library just for stretching, breathing, and overall wellness. Direct to you prescriptions. So this prescription service actually just gives you the ability to have your prescriptions delivered to any address of your choosing, next day delivery for free anywhere in Canada. So it gives you better coverage because it is one of our partner pharmacies. Shipping is available all across Canada, and you do have access to a pharmacist by phone if you do have any questions or concerns about the medications that you're taking. So that is a really great program as well. We have COVID testing that we actually administer through our partners at Go Visit. So you can go online and you can actually assess yourself for COVID-19. Excuse me. And it's through our direct to doctors partner. So they've done kind of a screening process for all of our clients. Then we have direct to you doctors, which gives you 24/7 access to a Canadian doctor through your phone, laptop, or tablet, which is really, really great. You can do virtual medical consultations through them. They have the ability to diagnose, prescribe, and refer you out to different clinicians for minor illnesses. They can actually diagnose over 100 different ailments, which is great. It's private and confidential. There's no out-of-pocket costs with the direct-to doctors, and they are working with our partners at Alliance Pharmacy with direct-to prescriptions so that you can access the prescription delivery, next day prescription for free. So that's really great too. And then we have direct-to counseling, which is powered by I Am Well, which is our integrated mental health and wellness program that we've built in. So you can actually chat 24/7 with a master's level counselor. So you can request counseling online, you can do the live chat, or you can access the app as well, which is really, really great. So all of this is available not only for students who are on the Trent Student Benefits Plan, but available to all Trent students. So that includes the undergrads, grads, and the folks at Trent Durham campus as well, which is really, really great. So you don't have to be on the plan to access these services. You can access them at any point of your choosing. So really, really great tool. Something I do also want to touch on as well, because you know the website does have a lot of information and there are a number of different things on here. If you do have any questions, you can actually use our live chat feature to contact one of our in-house client service representatives who are available from 8:30 a.m. until 4:30 p.m. Monday to Friday. But we do have extended hours during opt-in, opt-out season as well, just because we know that students don't necessarily operate on a 9-to-5 base. So we've extended those hours from September 1st until September 30th. And we have that live chat feature right here on our website. So if you do need to chat with an agent, you can go ahead and click live chat, and you can enter in your first name, last name, phone number, date of birth, and then your school, and you'll connect with an agent right away, which is really, really great. So we do have that feature, and you can also call us here in the office, of course. We have our information on here, our phone number, our toll-free, and then our general email address as well, info@studentvip.ca, if you do need to contact somebody and it is after our live chat hours. So yeah, that is just kind of some general information about your plan. I guess what I'll do now is open the floor up to questions if you do have any.
Were there any questions out there specific to Ali's presentation, or sorry, not Ali, to Preston's presentation? I said Ali because I see she's been fielding lots of questions in the chat. Sorry about that. I was scrolling at the same time to see if there were questions for you, Preston.
The only one, Laura, I think that we haven't maybe answered is just opting out per term. So opting out and opting back in. Is that an option they have?
Right. So unfortunately, you do have to opt out one time. So if you were starting your studies in September, you would be opting out for the entire year. There would be no ability to opt back into the plan afterwards.
Perfect. Thanks, Preston.
No problem.
Okay, and sorry, there is one more question there. Is the cost to enroll dependents the same as the student enrollment cost?
Great question. I'm just going to pull up, we have a spreadsheet. It is going to be live on the website with the opt-in on the opt-in page when it starts on September 1st, the cost to add dependents, but I'm just going to go ahead and check on that cost right now just to give you an idea. But there, I believe it is the same. Sorry, just logging in here again. The internet here in Kamoka is not the strongest, apparently.
Whereabouts is that, Preston? How far away?
It's about 20 minutes outside of London.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Nice little office there.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry about the wait, everybody.
It's okay. Thank you for your patience, everyone. I see that there's still quite a number of people still on the call. It's been a long session for everybody, 2.5 hours, so you've done well. But we will be posting these resources, so everything will be available. I'm saying hopefully by Monday of next week, you'll see everything on our grad student orientation website.
Awesome. Alrighty, so just taking a peek here. So to add one dependent, the cost is $475. To add two dependents, the cost would be $965.
Okay, were there any further questions to Preston? I guess that's it then, Preston. Thank you for joining us today.
Yeah, thank you for having me. Thanks for everybody for tuning in, and I wish you all the best for your upcoming school year, and I hope you all stay happy and healthy.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Okay, everyone, so that wraps up our official orientation, introducing you to all the services and departments at Trent. I know it was a lot all at once, but we have recorded this session. If you want to kind of fast forward to something that you missed or check out a resource that somebody was sharing, everything will be available very soon. Just give us till early next week, hopefully Monday, everything will be up there. And as I said at the beginning, and maybe somebody else mentioned it too, just feel free to reach out to any of us. Our contact information is all on our website as well, but you can always reach us just through graduate@trentu.ca if you have any questions or concerns or need help with anything. We are here. Yeah, so graduate classes start on Thursday, September the 10th this year. And we just want to wish you the best of luck as you start your career at Trent University as a graduate student. Good luck with everything, and reach out to us if you need us, okay? Take care. Bye-bye.